In a world where change is the only constant, Choumil stands at the forefront, guiding title professionals to not just grow their businesses, but to master the art of innovation. With every episode, you're handed the keys to unlock unparalleled growth and stay ahead of the curve. Get ready for a transformative journey.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Title Agents Podcast. Today, I have the pleasure of having my good friend, Brad Chandler, serial entrepreneur, life and happiness coach, and a podcaster. Brad first got introduced to real estate when he read a book in ninth grade on how to buy houses. In 2002, an investor bought his neighbor's house in Vienna, Virginia, and after talking with the investor, he decided to start Express Home Buyers. And if you live in the DC area, it's impossible not to know Brad, and will you buy your home in 7 days or less? Those commercials. 20 years later, Express Home Buyers has bought and sold 4,000 homes across the country and runs primarily without his involvement. In early 2021, he went through a major life transformation and found freedom and happiness through self-love. In 2022, because of the profound shift, he felt obligated to share this path with others and started Brad Chandler Coaching, where he now helps others overcome childhood programming so they can live the life of their dreams. You can find out more about this at https://unlocklimitlessyou.com/Brad. Welcome, Brad, to the show.
Hey, man, thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, so I know you fairly well. We've known each other for a little over 20 years now. Tell our audience your story, where you grew up and how you got started in business.
Yeah, man, I got started in business when I was in 7th grade selling blow pops at the school until they shut me down. I remember I had like $80 in change and I thought I was rich, and the school was like, no, you can't do that, or we're gonna expel you. So that was my first entrepreneurial venture. I helped my stepbrother when I was in high school. I used to cut out school early, and he'd come pick me up, and we put flyers out for a landscaping company that till this day, 30-something years later, he's still running. I don't have any percentage. I probably should have, but no percentage there. And yeah, then I started Express Home Buyers. I actually started a home inspection company before that, and it's just been it's been interesting, right? I've done a lot of different things, and I've used Express Home Buyers as a business to allow me to follow what, after 47 years, I figured out why I was put on this earth, and it's to help people find freedom and happiness. So I get to do that every day now, and have the Express Home Buyers run in the background.
Tell us the story how you started Express Home Buyers, and what does Express Home Buyers do? What kind of business volume you do now? And
yeah, so I started I decided after talking with that investor who bought my neighbor's house in probably like November, December 2002 that this is what I was going to do. I was going to freaking flip houses and fix and flip real estate. And so it took me 8 long months to find my first deal. But I did. I stayed persistent. And in July and August, I bought 6 houses. And then in October, I went to my boss and I said, I quit. I am starting a company. And I came home and told my wife at the time, and she's like, are you crazy? We have a newborn son and I've got 2 kids and you're quitting your job? I was like, it'll be fine. And
where were you working then?
I was working with this small developer in Springfield that bought like rundown apartments in the district and like fixed them up and either sold them as condos or did Section 8 rentals. So yeah, it was around that October timeframe that I went to this guy just called me out of the blue and it was like, hey, I saw you bought a house in my neighborhood. Do you want to meet? And I'm like, sure, because I was looking for a partner at the time for kind of quality of life issues. And at that time, I had a negative $80,000 net worth from graduate school. I had no money. And this guy happened to be, his name was Judd Allen. And we went and had a chicken cheesesteak at the best chicken cheesesteak ever I've had in my life at this place called Edie's on Route 7 in Bailey's Crossroads.
It's still around.
And over that, is it still there? Over that chicken cheesesteak, we literally, he was like, well, I've got $10,000. I'll put it up. And we formed our company right then and there because I had this huge vision to have this nationwide home buying company because I didn't know at the time, but after doing my transformative work, I learned that I had this feeling of not being enough. And so I thought that having a large company making a ton of money would bring me happiness and fulfillment, and it didn't. But anyway, back to the story. We'll talk more about that later. Judd and I now have been in partnership for 22 years and have just had an amazing run. I mean, I know you know Judd well as well.
That's awesome. When what was the year you started Express Home Buyers?
2003 is when we bought our first house, and that's when Judd and I came together.
That's awesome. So you went through the 2008 crash, and how do you navigate that? And
we went through the worst real estate downturn in the history of real estate, and probably, two of the biggest run-ups ever. From 2000, I mean, I guess it's just been one big run-up now that I think about it. From 2011 to now, it's just been like this. This never happened. It absolutely. So I can say that we have operated in the worst downturn ever in real estate, and absolutely the best. There's never been a run of appreciation like this ever. So how do we navigate? We got, really lean. At the time, we had a real estate brokerage team. And again, back to my unworthiness, I was trying to be the first agent to ever sell $1 billion in one year. So I was focused on top line, and looking back, Judd was like, I think we lost $1 million in that business this year. Let's get rid of it. Because when the tax credits went away, the first time home buyer tax credits went away in 2010, our inventory went from about 24 million to like 21 million overnight. I don't know how much debt we had on at the point. We probably had like 20 million on it. So it was pretty tight. It got really tight. And so we got really lean. We started reaching out to brokerages and really partnering with them and offering them incentives. We renovated houses. We always made them a little nicer than what was in the neighborhood, because as Judd used to say, we didn't need to sell 100 houses. We just needed to sell one house in one neighborhood, and it had to be the nicest house. So we started spending money on landscaping and just got really lean and fought really hard, and we made it.
So I know you touched on this a little bit just right now, but what were some of the biggest challenges you faced when building Express Home Buyers, and how do you overcome them, especially, and you talked about navigating 08 and...
Yeah. So Mo, I guess, because Judd was involved to some degree, it was probably mostly me, but over a stretch of from like 2005 to 2017, we had 5 mistakes that cost us $9 million.
Wow.
And when I look back on those mistakes, they were all around me trying to do something I shouldn't have been doing, taking on some fight, expanding to some market, doing development deals, all because I thought that if I could make that money would bring me fulfillment and happiness. And I know that I'm not the only one, because I run in a lot of circles and I'm in some of the biggest masterminds, and I'm pretty connected in this business. It's not just me. There's a lot of people that feel unworthy. It's probably one of the biggest, negative side effects or negative things that people deal with in the entire world. And when you don't feel enough, you try to do some crazy stuff to feel enough. You try to do too much. You get distracted. You have the shiny object syndrome. So when I look back now, that was it. That's what called, not the market, not the people, not the processes. It was my mindset. I wasn't enough, so I had to do more. So if you have a business that's in chaos, the best thing you can do is figure out, do you have some of these limiting beliefs? And one of the best ways to do it is, I kind of created this quiz just for me, because I didn't know I had any of these issues. And so many people listening won't even know they have these issues. So if you want to find out if you have some of these limiting beliefs, just go to unlocklimitlessyou.com/quiz. Take the quiz. It takes 3 minutes. It's 12 questions, and it will tell you if you have these things that might be holding you back, or creating chaos in your business, or contributing to your shitty marriage, or contributing to your kids' anxiety or depression. So that's it. When I look back at business, the biggest thing I had to navigate that I didn't even know was the thing between my 2 ears. That was it.
Yeah. Do you the mistakes, the $9 million worth of mistakes, was that just expanding to other fields you didn't understand, you didn't know, or try to go fast?
It was everything. It was opening the realty company. It was getting involved in a lawsuit that cost almost $2 million. It was getting involved with 3 development deals that we didn't know what we were doing. It cost us $3 million. It was trying to renovate houses on a huge scale with like a 4-hour radius. I mean, we had like 80 projects going on at one point in time. So it was just a bunch of different things, but they all had one common theme. And that theme was, if we can just make a bunch of money, things will be amazing.
I know you talked about mindset. And I know you mentioned in previous interviews that mindset is crucial for success. Can you elaborate on the key mindset shifts that helped you grow your business? And, to elaborate a little more on that.
Yeah. So look, I went to therapy for 3 decades. I went to 50 different marriage counseling sessions. And in one 3-hour session in this Park City Airbnb bedroom, my life forever changed. And the gentleman that led me through this change, he was coaching Fortune 500 CEOs. And the whole reason that he got into space is he'd come in and they'd be like, hey, I got this problem and this marketing and this sales problem and this COO and this is a mess. And he's like, whoa. He's like, I can't help you until you fix your problem between your 2 ears and your mindset. So that's why I'm sitting here talking to you today, because this guy went to try to help people and he's like, it's not the business that's a problem, it's the way you think. So what was the mindset shift that I made? We simply went back to my childhood and we figured out the times in my childhood where I lacked control, or I went through some stressful or traumatic situation, and we figured out what was the meanings I placed on those events. And as children, to protect ourselves, we always take on the brunt of everything, because if we can control it, then we can make it better. If it's our parents' fault, then we're screwed because there's nothing we can do. So we always internalize it's our fault. So when in that Park City bedroom, when I realized, oh my God, I have nothing left to prove, like I'm already enough. This wasn't my issue. This was my parents' issue. Everything changed. So how did it change? I came back and I was like, since I don't need to go open new markets and get involved in lawsuits, what am I going to do? I'm going to make an impact. So that's what I started focusing on. It's how can I make an impact in the lives of my employees, the sellers, our investors. And we didn't have to go open new markets. And in these last 3 years, Mo, my business has completely changed. Like there's not chaos day to day. Things actually run smoothly and we're growing methodically, where I'm not coming back from every mastermind saying, we got to do this and we got to do this and let's open this market and let's try. Yeah, because back then it was just like, I got to do whatever I can. I got to prove my worth because I want to be loved in this world. And now I'm just like, okay, that might be a good idea, but we're not ready for it now. And so my net worth in these last 3 years has grown like 2 or 3 times bigger than any other 3-year period in the 20-something years I was in business, because I'm focusing on making an impact rather than making money to prove my worth. And when you stop trying to make money to prove your worth and you focus on making an impact, the money will come more than ever.
And I think also you stepped away from the business, running day-to-day operations. A lot of times as leaders, we can be like the hurdle or the roadblock for growth, and kind of really having amazing people around you, letting them do their thing. That's kind of just a.
But I'm going to go back to the mindset. I think that we are an impediment, not because we're an entrepreneur, but it's because of our mindset. The reason that I'm not involved in the business now, and I'm not involved, that's not fair. I do about an hour a week. And I still give some feedback and stuff, but overall I'm not involved. The reason is because my heart isn't into it, Mo. I wasn't put here to build house or to fix and flip houses. What I was put here for was to help people radically change their lives. But if I would have gone through this transformation and realized that real estate really is my passion, I would not be an impediment anymore. With my new mindset, I actually think I would add a lot of value to express home buyers. It's just, I want to live my life the way that I want to, and I don't want to do something that I don't wake up every day and be like, this is amazing. What I do now as a happiness coach, man, I love it. I could go, for those of you who are watching the video, there's 50, 60 books behind me. I could take that pile of books and go get a beach umbrella and sit on the beach for 8 hours a day. And I'm not lying when I say for the next 20 years and never get bored reading stuff about psychology and trauma and mindset and childhood programming. If you said, hey, you got to go spend a week reading books on real estate investing, like I wouldn't even make it an hour. I'd be like, no, I'm going to go for a swim or a walk or something. So when you find what you absolutely love to do and your purpose and passion in life, things come easy. And I believe that I'm going to make more money in this space than I'll ever will in real estate, because I can't get enough of this stuff. I want to be the best not to show Brad is the best, but I want to be the best because the better I am, the more impact that I can make in this world. And so who's going to stop me? Most psychologists and therapists, they don't want to go home and read books about psychology and therapists. Most of them got into the business because they were trying to heal themselves.
Going back to scaling your business, I've known you since the Vistage days when we were in the same mastermind group. And I've since then, I've always, every time I see you, like we don't spend a lot of time together, but whenever I see you, you're always fine tuning your systems, processes, marketing, and I kind of literally never kind of happy with you. I'm always kind of trying to get better and better and better. Can you just elaborate on how important is this to always keep fine tuning systems and processes, and especially marketing? Your business is always mainly focused on online marketing to find the deals.
Yeah, TV. We spent most of our money on TV over the years. So one of the first books I ever read when I started Express Home Buyers was called E-Myth by Michael Gerber. And it's all about systematizing your business. Whether you're going to open one store or 5,000 stores, you want to create the business as if you're going to open 5,000. That way, everything is systematized. So I think it's really, really important. Systems and processes, and I'm not really good at it. I keep pushing it because I know the importance of it, but I'm not good. I remember back in the days, Judd and I hired a consultant from eMyth, and oh my gosh, like he's more ADD than I am, and we're sitting in this office. I literally can remember like this yesterday, and he's got a golf club, and he's like swinging the golf club around the room. I'm like, Judd, sit down. But the thing is like this gets back to passion and purpose. I don't know about him. He probably likes real estate more than I do, but our passion and purpose certainly wasn't in building processes. So if you take nothing more away from this conversation than find your purpose in life, because everything becomes easier when you're fulfilled. It's a huge part of happiness. And you're like, well, Brad, I can't find my purpose. I'm 47 years old like I was. It took me 47 years, or I'm 60, or I'm 40, whatever age it is, I can't find my purpose. One of the reasons you may not be able to find your purpose is because you might be living in a constant fight or flight state. If you have some of these programming issues that I've talked about that create these negative issues in your life, these negative behaviors, then you likely are in a fight or flight state. When you do the work, in our program is 5 weeks, literally in 5 weeks, people go from lack of self-love to extreme self-love, and everything changes. One of the things that changes is you can take a deep breath because you've killed the proverbial lion that's chasing you. And if there's a lion chasing you, how can you think creatively about your business and really love your kids and your wife? It's hard, right? But once you get those limiting beliefs pushed away and out, then you can take a deep breath and be like, oh, this is why I'm here.
Awesome. We're going to stick with Title Agents podcast, and we're going to go more to the podcast, your podcast and your coaching in a minute. What advice would you give the title agents looking to expand their network and work more closely with investors and wholesalers? And I'm not sure, pretty sure you know the stats. I think the last couple of years, a third of transactions nationwide are off market, which is probably a lot of it has to do with iBuyer and wholesalers and investors. So what advice would you give the title agents to working with wholesalers like yourself and investors?
I think it's just put your money where your mouth is. Just when you say you're going to do something, commit to doing it. This business, I know because I've worked with so many title agents, that it's not like selling to the family that's going to buy the house with the white picket fence. A lot of these deals have a lot of hair on them, and therefore they're probably less profitable. So you got to set up your business to, one, cater to the investor, but know that this business is going to be less profitable, but it's a volume play. It's most investors are going to buy, the average retail buyer, I think, buys a house every 7 years, whereas, we're buying 30 houses a month. So I would just say, get really, really good at the nuances of dealing with sellers and buyers who may not always be receptive. Really know the ins and outs of title issues and title defects and stuff, and working with heirs and people in prison and drug addicts and all of the hair. Get really, really good at that. And then go and why are you different? Like, you've got to have that unique selling proposition, the USP. What is different about you? How are you going to serve me? And for me, it's really important that deals close on time and that there's constant connection and feedback between the buyers and sellers.
Awesome. Thank you for that awesome feedback. And can you elaborate? You and I are big fans of Masterminds. And I'm in a couple of them, and you're a collective genius, and I'm sure a couple more. Can you just talk about the power of masterminds and how it changed your life and your business?
Yeah, I don't know if I could say it changed my life. I know that I've made millions of dollars of revenue from being in masterminds. I can remember, my egoic self, when Jason Medley at CG reached out to me 15 years ago or something and said, do you want to join? And I'm like, man, I don't know if I want to give all my secrets. Like, I'm going to be the top dog in the room. And I got there and I was like, oh, I'm not the top dog in the room. So I was humbled. It was tough though. Again, when you don't feel enough, and most human beings to some degree don't. When you go into these rooms with these people who are doing so well, I constantly would compare myself because my marker was always money. So they are absolutely vital, but don't go there and compare yourself and say, I suck and I got to do more, and then come back to your company and try to implement 30 things in 6 weeks. Go there with just, how can I be better? I'm going to learn something, and how can I get better than I was yesterday? And that can be in all areas of your life. How can I be a little bit better of a father and a husband and a brother and a friend and a leader than I was yesterday? Rather than comparing yourself to, well, I may be better than yesterday, but man, Mo's making so much more money than me, so I'm an idiot. Like, don't do that. But go to a mastermind, stay humble, make connections, help people, give. And if you're in the right place, you're going to get the investment. The return is just infinite.
Awesome. Thank you. Going back to your breakthrough in 2021, can you share that what happened and the experience you had, which made a major impact in your life and on your mission and purpose?
Yeah, I touched on it, right? Most entrepreneurs get in business to make a bunch of money because a lot of them think that it'll bring them happiness and fulfillment. And the real answer is that you can find that you have that happiness and fulfillment inside you right now. And when you can do that work and get there, the chances of you making the money that you want to make go up. I've just proven that in the last 3 years. So what happened is this is what happens. This is kind of the secret to life. I'm going to give you the secret to life. And this is no joke. Like someone's going to listen to this and their life and their relationship's going to be changed forever. Every negative behavior that you have in your life, everything from drinking to smoking to overeating to depression, anxiety, anything, including illnesses, are your brain's what it thinks is a solution. That negative thing is a solution to keep you from feeling something or facing something that it believes is more painful or more dangerous. So let me give you an example. I have terrible social anxiety or stage fright getting on stage. Well, you're like, no one likes that. Everyone wants to get on stage and speak, right? But what that's protecting you from is, if I get on stage and mess up, people are going to ridicule and judge me just like my father did. And if that happens, I'm going to lose love and connection with my father, which could be deadly to our 6 million year old primitive brain. So every negative behavior is you running from something that your mind thinks is more dangerous. But here's the key. Every single time, this thing that we're running from that's creating addiction, depression, anxiety, 100 million Americans taking anxiety drugs and depression drugs, this thing that they're running from is always 100% untrue. It was formed during childhood when you went through a stressful situation or your needs weren't met, and you came up with a meaning for it. So what did I do in Park City 3 years ago? We figured out these meanings, and those meanings were untrue. And when my brain connected those and was like, wait, I've been doing all of this stuff, the use of weed and alcohol, kids with behavioral problems, 2 marriages that didn't work, $9 million worth of mistakes. Wait, I've been doing all of it because I was trying to hide from the fact that I wasn't enough, but oh my gosh, I am enough. Guess what? All the negative behavior goes away. I haven't lost money anymore. My relationships are amazing. My health has never been better. My income has gone up. I'm a perfect example of it. So that's what happened in Park City. And everyone is capable of doing that. So if you're listening and you've got depression or you're near suicide or you drink too much, none of it's your fault. It's your brain doing what it should do. It's supposed to take you from pain to pleasure. So it's protecting you from that pain. All you have to do is spend the 3 to 5 hours that I did and figure out these untruths and show your brain that they're untrue. And boom, the negative behavior will vanish forever.
That's awesome. It's very, very, very powerful. And Is that what led you to start a podcast? Is that how to be happy for entrepreneurs?
Yeah. So look, remember when I came back, I was like, I don't need to prove anything. So I want to make an impact, right? What better venue to make an impact, right? So now we're in the top 3% of podcasts. There's 3 million podcasts in the world. We're in the top 3% after 85 episodes. And that's because I've delivered amazing value. I'm not on there selling anything. I get healers. I get people who have transformed their lives. I get past clients. We get on there and talk about this stuff. So if you like the kind of the content that we're sharing today, you're going to love the podcast because it's all about how do you thrive? How do you make more money? How do you have great relationships?
Yeah, and I think like, COVID really had a deep effect on all of us, and like now people are more mindful about self-care and about kind of just taking care of themselves. And just before that, everybody was kind of just about grinding. How do you run to nobody knows where? But it's important to kind of slow down sometimes just to take care of yourself.
And I know most of your audience probably is entrepreneurs, but you don't have to be an entrepreneur to get a lot out of the How to Be Happier for Entrepreneurs podcast. So just go listen to a couple episodes. If you like it, great. If not, that's great too.
I like it. Listen to a bunch of episodes.
Thank you.
You share some key insights or memorable stories from your podcast that have resonated with you and your listeners?
Whoa. Oh my gosh. We've had so many incredible stories. Yeah. You know, I mean, this is going really deep, but one lady shared her near-death experiences on how she was like dead. And it was in a situation where she wasn't supposed to hear anything or see anything, but she was able to. I think that was my mind has been opened up so much more. I was pretty closed-minded and thinking, you know what, I was raised Catholic. So I was like, I think I agree. You're born and then you die and you go to heaven. And I don't believe it anymore. I believe that our souls were here before. I believe that our souls continue. I believe that people do have near-death experiences where they proved it over and over again. They're in operating rooms and they're completely covered. And like days later, they're explaining all the tools that were used on them. They had no way they would have known. So I think that was a really memorable one. And then just the countless stories of people that were in these, in the last 2 episodes that I've done this week that should be coming out soon, 2 people were suicidal and depressed. Literally, one guy took a bottle full of Xanax, you know him, I'm not going to mention his name, and jumped in a pool. And he's alive. And he's like, they diagnosed me with psychosis, depression, anxiety. I was like, do you have any of that now? Nope. How did you fix it? By thinking. He didn't fix it through the use of drugs. He fixed it through thinking. So I think the important message is no matter what you're struggling with in your life, it comes down to a thinking problem. And that thinking problem, again, is your brain just trying to protect you from something that just isn't true. So no matter where you are, literally, your life can change in a matter of hours.
Okay. As I talk about entrepreneurs and title agents and title professionals, the balance in work and personal life is a recurrent theme for many entrepreneurs. How do you manage to maintain this balance, and what tips do you have for others?
So here's my routine during the school year. Get up at about 7 o'clock. I try to meditate for 15 minutes. I don't always do it, but I try. I get my daughter to the bus, drop her off at 7:30, drive right to the gym. It's become absolute routine. 5 days a week, I'm going to the gym. I play pickleball. I'm now a certified pickleball addict. I know, I'm sorry, but I am. I play for about an hour and a half. I then lift weights. I then roll myself out with a roller. I stretch. I get in the sauna. I get in the steam room, and then I take a cold shower. And I'm home by 11 o'clock. So I have almost 4 hours a day dedicated to my health and well-being. I fortunately am in a position that I don't have to work. So what I continually do in my coaching business is if I don't want to do it, I stop doing it. I prioritize my health and my family and my relationship with Yvonne over work. And I know I'm in a great position because I have income coming in from another company. But look, there's 24 hours in a day. We sleep for 8 hours a day. Usually some people sleep a lot less. You've got 16, 17 hours in a day. Don't tell me you don't have time. You've got as much time as Michael Jordan, as Jack Welch, as Elon Musk, right? Where's your priority? That's where, cut out the internet's, the gaming, cut out the social media, cut out the TV. I don't watch TV anymore unless the Masters is on. or there's a big sporting event, I don't watch TV. I used to be watching TV every single day of my life. I'd turn on the TV when I woke up. The TV would be on when I went to sleep. I cut out all that because the news is just absolute bullshit, negativity. It's the same shit every day. So that's how I balance work and life. I prioritize it.
Awesome. So what role does continuous learning and adaptation play in your success? And how do you stay ahead of industry trends?
Man, this goes back to passion and purpose again. I am fueled by the desire that I can't get enough of this material because I know that the more that I know, the more that I can help. So no one is exempt, including yourself, from things that you want to change in your life. So let's say in 2 weeks or 2 months or whatever, you're out on my boat and you're like, Brad, I'm really struggling with XYZ. If I know that subject and I can talk you through it in 45 minutes, change your perspective and maybe your relationship or whatever, man, I want to do that. So I think it's number one, finding something that you just love to get that you're passionate about and you want to learn more of. And two, yes, it's absolutely necessary. Like we're either growing or we're dying. That's it. So you get to pick. You're a human being. You can die if you want. It's your call.
Absolutely. Just talk about purpose in life and mission, and like clearly, mine is I'm very blessed like you. I've been always about the growth and learning and gazillion seminars, workshops, Tony Robbins, you name it. A little long time ago, literally the growth for me is everything. Like, so I always want to grow, keep growing, all aspects of life, and it just as you said, like it just juices you and if you're not growing, you die. And I'm a true believer in that.
Yeah.
So, any books in the horizon?
So I never stop reading. I mean, I read constantly.
Writing a book.
Oh, writing. I haven't gotten there yet. No. We're improving we just continually improving our content and our core curriculum with the 5-week coaching program. And now I have a 10-week coaching program also that I sprinkle in some business consulting in. So no, but I definitely will write a book probably. I don't know when. Again, it's got to fit into my schedule. If I can fit into my schedule and it doesn't cut into pickleball time, I'll consider it.
we got to play pickleball now.
Oh, dude, it's the best. It is so much fun.
So what, either a favorite book of all time or a favorite book you recently read?
So the number one book I recommend when people ask like how can I be happier is a book called The Way to Love by Anthony DeMello. He was a Jesuit who moved to India, so he's kind of and he spent 30 years in India, so it's really cool because he's got the Jesus and the Buddha thing going at the same time, so you get the best of both worlds.
That's awesome. How about a favorite quotes of all time?
Wow. My old self would have said, getting wealthy isn't hard. It's just doing things others wouldn't do. Look, I've got 1,000 quotes. The one that's coming to my mind for some reason is pain moves through families until someone's willing to feel it. When you have this, I'm not enough, there is a 0 chance you're not impacting your children. So if you have kids with behavioral problems or you have marital problems and you want to heal them and fix them, don't go looking to fix the person or get your kid, counseling, whatever. It all begins with you. You are the cause of it. And if you can recognize that, notice I didn't say it's your fault because it's not your fault. None of this is your fault, but you're the cause of it. And when you can heal, you're going to see how things just radically change around you and your family and your business and your health.
That's awesome. So who's that puppy behind you, the little cute who's been asleep the whole time?
That is Rosie, my 4-year-old mini golden doodle, who's just she's a pleasure. She's so affectionate, so loving.
That's awesome. Well, Brad, thank you so much for all the wisdom and sharing your story. And how do people get a hold of you again and doing that?
Yeah, so unlocklimitlessyou.com/Brad has every single piece of contact information. It even has my cell phone. If you're struggling, pick it up and call me. It's got all my social media platforms. It's got the self-love quiz. It's got our How to Be Happier Entrepreneurs podcast. So go there. If you want to schedule a free session, it's on there as well.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Brad.
In a world where change is the only constant, Choumil stands at the forefront, guiding title professionals to not just grow their businesses, but to master the art of innovation. With every episode, you're handed the keys to unlock unparalleled growth and stay ahead of the curve. Get ready for a transformative journey